Hi, it's Camilla here. Wednesday and day three, part three of our paint and sip. I hope you're having a good time so far. I hope you're able to watch. Thanks for coming on. Please comment if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay. We've had an amazing day outside today because it's snowing here, or it was last night. I know that people were hedging bets on whether it was going to snow, nothing much, a couple of inches, or up to like 10 or 12 inches. I want to say that we got like 2 inches at the most. So it's not a lot, but it was enough to go tobogganing on. So, we live in the low country. There are no hills. This whole area used to be underwater. It was like under the ocean during the Ice Age. So there is nothing. So there are some inclines in places. And sorry, I got cold, so I really need to needed to make myself a hot drink. So yeah, so we made ourselves go out there. We took our boogie boards that we usually use in the summertime, and off we went down the hill with the boogie boards. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun. I might have to try to post some pictures of it so that you can see how much fun we had. It was, we had the joy of being able to go to Finland for Christmas. And so the girls were used to being out in the snow and dressing up for it and dressing for the weather and everything. So that was great because they were like, okay, this is what we do, double layers, this and double layer that. And I didn't have to like argue or anything like that. And I was so happy about that. And it was so exciting. Annika said to me, she's our 12-year-old, she said, like, I think this is the best day of my life. And I'm like, wow, that's good. That's good. So yeah, so that's what we've been doing today. And yeah, it's exciting. And in addition to that, I've been working on my dress because I'm going on a special party next week on our Paint Party Business Live cruise, which is actually like a business get together, like sort of business and fun, right? And we do a painted prom dress party every year. So I've been kind of semi working on it. I haven't really had a lot of time to work on it so far, but I just put a few touches to it and just working on it. And we have another snow day tomorrow, so there'll be more work on the dress tomorrow. I'll have to share it with you when it's finished and when I've been there because everybody keeps their dresses a surprise until the party. There's probably about something around 250 people who teach paint parties as well as me that are going to join this cruise. And it's a business. It's a legitimate business, so it's not just like we're hanging out. And I like to learn, and I like to become better at what I'm doing and learn from other people who've done this before and who are doing that. And I like to, I offer advice when I can as well and stuff. So it's a really good group of people. And yeah, it's sort of a combination because that's where I have my accountability group, and that's where I have people that I ask for advice when it comes to business things as well. So it's a really, really exciting group of people to hang out with. And of course, we're all over the country and people from other countries as well. So we don't always, don't get to see each other. I had an in-person meeting with my accountability group in August, and that was just such an amazing uh, weekend. We did it over a long weekend just before the fall busyness started, and it was just really a good time to get together, talk about business and planning and all those things. So we're going to have another session as we get on the boat to do that too, and just kind of get together and talk about stuff and talk things through. And it's always good to have mentors and have people in place that you trust and that also know what they're doing. So yeah, so I treat my fun time as not just a hobby. That's what it's grown out of, but as a real business, legitimate business, I feel I owe it to myself and to other people to make it the best that I can possibly make it be. And that does include self-help and, furthering myself and not taking things for granted when it comes to a business and such. So yes, all that said, I did that while I put the background in place for the cliffs. I just used my buttermilk. Now I'm just going to mix in a little bit of the coral in with the buttermilk so I can get some kind of a deeper color and just kind of get a few strokes of that. I've been using my round brush for the whole time, just a few shadows here and there. Just up here on the cliffs as well. Now I'm doing wet on wet, so that makes it really easy to not a lot of water on the brush, not a lot of paint on the brush, but just following the strokes of the cliffs, following sort of the outline of the cliffs. And because I've got a wet brush and paint is wet underneath, that means that it's blending really, really well, which makes it very easy to do. So a few strokes down here as well. I always find it easy to have a little painting, or you can print out the sample picture if you're painting yourself. And this way you have a little something to watch and to look at for assistance as you're painting. And so on. So yeah, so that's it. And a little bit on that left side there. There we go. A little bit over here. So yes, so that's what's been going on. And then in addition to that, I've been messaging with Paolo, and Paolo's the guy that's doing everything he can to get us the best hotels and the best deals and everything in Italy for our trip in September and October. And so we were messaging with each other because we're talking about all the options for the tours and everything that we're doing and trying to keep the prices at a reasonable cost for those for everybody. But not just that, but just kind of like trying to add little extra things into it and seeing what we can do and all of that. So I think I'm wondering, I don't know which one I'm most excited about, to be absolutely honest with you, because our last minute ad was the cooking class in Tuscany. And I've cooked in Tuscany. Obviously, we lived there for 8.5 years. And I have a friend who I visited, and she does, she had a pasta maker. So we were making pasta together. She had a few other foreigners come in, and we all sort of learned how to use a pasta maker and everything. And it was just so much fun. So I'm really excited about doing all of this together again and kind of like having a repeat of it, because I am so far from good at doing those kinds of things, but I love doing it and it's going to be so much fun. So I, I have the privilege of going through and sorting out like, okay, what menus, what are we looking at? Because of course, when you do stuff like this, you do a cooking class, which is now what's on the cards for us. So what I'm doing right now is I mixed the dark and the light green, so I kind of get this in between color green, and that's the color that I'm going to use to cover everything up. And then I'm going to put highlights and I'm going to put lowlights. Let's just make sure that you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So I'm just kind of following the lines. I'm using the round brush for the most part today. And at this point anyway. And so I tried to ask initially, I was like, okay, can we do one in the afternoon? And they're like, no, we all do them in the morning and that's how we do them. And I'm like, okay. And so what happens is we're going to do them. We're going to do a cooking class, and then you eat everything that you make. And it's just an amazing adventure when you do it together as a group. So we're looking at how big are we going to make it? What are we going to include? Are we going to bake? What are we going to do? And so it's super, super exciting to see all the fun things that you can do. And of course, having lived in Tuscany for 8.5 years, all those dishes and the way of preparing them are familiar to me for the most part. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna be so exciting. Just anybody just give me schiacciata, please, which is the Tuscan style of flatbread. It's like a focaccia, but it's drenched. No, that's not the right word. It's not drenched in oil, but it's like a crusty, oily surface, but it's not, it's like olive oil and flour in a way, but it just makes it really crunchy and crusty, and it's thin and it's so salty and flavorful. And it's like a super, like a focaccia, but not as thick and chewy. And I was like, that's the bread that the entire family dreams of. After all these years, it's like, give us something, it'll be that bread. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I am going to paint straight over these houses that I traced. I'm like done with moving around. You can, if you want, you can move around. But since we're painting in acrylic, then this is very easy. You do this, you let it dry, you go over it, and then you don't have any issues at all with covering that, the houses with the white afterwards. So I keep mixing my colors on the fly here. And that's a really good thing in a way, because it gives you different color shadings right off the bat, which I think is very cool. So that's what I'm continuing to do. And I'm doing it. I'm like, now I'm not going this way. I'm going left to right and right to left. And I'm kind of just like dabbing off the paintbrush. So I can get a little bit almost of that texture of the trees there. So I can still see, because I did the tracing with a Sharpie, a thin Sharpie, but it's still a Sharpie. So I can still see the trees. And then going all the way down. It doesn't matter if I go over a little bit. You can see how that's all going to work out. And after a little bit, I'm going to add some of this more dark color into it as well. I'm going to go up here because there's a little bit here. And by now it's dried up a little bit, not much, but a little bit. And we put a couple of, you know how they have little spots where there's in the cliffs as well, where you have a little bit of extra additional ledges, so to speak. All right, so that's that part up there. Now I've got a ton of trees to work on. Same principle, absolutely same principle. And so I'm going to keep working on it. Can you see that? Yes, you can. Awesome. So yeah, so the cooking class is definitely an add-on that I'm very, very excited about. And I think we're going to be doing that at our place, our hotel in Chianti, so that we can actually do it locally there. And then that means that frees us up, and when we go to Pienza, to do something different. And that's where we're going to be able to do our fantastic valley drive and everything. And all of this just gets me so excited. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And the other tours, I must say, are the boat tours. We got 2 boat tours on this trip, and I'm just so excited. Now, one of them is Lake Como, and then Bellagio, going out to Bellagio. And let me know if you've done that. If you got some hints and tips of what to do and where to go and what to see. And so we're trying to figure out all of that. And with that, we're gonna do a paint party. I think I mentioned that last time as well. So we're gonna do a paint party on Bellagio. I hope we're gonna be able to do it there. And then the other one is our Cinque Terre. And if you haven't heard of Cinque Terre for any reason, you want to Google those, and you just want to take a look at the pictures and the scenery. And you go, oh yeah, I had that jigsaw puzzle a few years ago. That's from there. And because it literally is. It's just an amazing set of villages. And if anybody has family and they watched Luca, it's a Disney animated movie from a few years back, where the boy who was sort of like a merfolk kind of thing, he had gills and stuff. And that whole thing was like a man-made version of the Cinque Terre. They put like different villages together to make it look like what it looks like. So that's kind of fun. Okay, this is what happens when you have a day off. You got people coming to the door. You heard the doorbell. It happens. You just hang out with me. You don't get to see them. Hi, Sophia. So yeah, and what I wanted to tell you is I've had, and what I mentioned yesterday, I did a few lives yesterday on Tuesday. And this is very important. And I want you to know this, no matter if you're coming with me or if you're going with anybody else, or if you're got friends who's thinking about going to Italy this year, you need to be booking right now. And I'm not just like joking about that, because it is the year of Jubilee in Italy, and that happens only once every 25 years. And with that, it means that all the hotels, all the tours, and all the good stuff is going to get booked off if it hasn't already been booked up. So you definitely want to get on that now, if and just make sure that you get what you want. And like I said, you can start researching now, but if you want to save yourself the trouble to research, do all this research, booking all the hotels, making sure that you're ticking off everything off the list that you definitely should be seeing and want to be seeing, and that you like, that don't miss this part. But how am I going to get there? Do I have to rent a car? How am I going to get from A to Z? I want to see everything, but it's like overwhelming. That's when you need somebody like me, because we're doing this. We're trying to see as much as we can. We're doing it at a pace that's not breaking neck breaking, I think is a good term. And we're doing it. We have our coach that's going to take us from place to place. We're staying 2 nights in one place and taking tours from there, and they're all optional, so that you can decide how much of this extra you want to do and how much downtime you need and want to have. And on top of that, we're just doing fun stuff like painting. Every once in a while, we're throwing a paint party. It'll be something similar to like this. It's not going to be a really, really heavy painting session. It's going to be a fun sort of paint party style painting session, where we're going to create our own sceneries that we can just take as memories home with us. So, it's something to think about seriously, because I have ladies and gentlemen who are booking their flight tickets right now, and they really have to, because if you want to fly overnight, there was a group of ladies that are traveling together, and they said, okay, so we're on a red-eye flight, because that's how it usually goes from the United States to Milan. You're on a red-eye flight because you fly out in the evening and you travel overnight and you arrive in the morning local time. So she said, we were looking at booking this business economy or comfort extra, I think it was called, on, I think they were booking on Delta. And she's like, Camilla, would you believe it? They only had 8 seats left. And I was like, yeah, I do. I really do. Because everybody's going to want to go to Italy. So, if you're wanting to go to Italy next year and you're thinking about it and you haven't got your ducks in a row, so to speak, don't hesitate. Just do it now. Even if you're not booking with me, if you're wanting to do your own thing, just go ahead and book. That's my professional, personal, heart-to-heart recommendation for you. And if you are looking to have somebody do the heavy lifting and take care of all the planning for you, and make sure that we get you and whomever you're traveling with, or if you're not traveling with anybody, you're going to make a lot of new friends on this trip, I promise you that. Then this is a great time to join this trip. And why do I say that? Because I know right now I've not raised my prices. I've kept my prices at last year's prices. And my guy, Paolo in Italy, he's like, okay, Camilla, you're going to need to, hop on it, because the hotels want to release all the rooms so that they can sell them to other people. And I know this, like, I had I've had people asking to extend their trip, so I know what these hotel prices are and the prices that he's gotten us, because he secured that last year with the deposit of people who booked early and were able to pay me a deposit, so I could take care of all of that and deal with him, and you don't have to do anything but pay me in dollars, and then it's all good. And get your travel insurance if you haven't. I always recommend that. Always recommend that. So anyway, so yeah, so that's the kind of thing, is like, I know that these hotel prices are already up there, and how he's been able to secure these hotels is amazing. But if we don't fill this trip up, then he's going to have to release those extra rooms that we've secured right now. I'm still going to go no matter how many people I have. But if you're wanting to come on this trip and time has passed and he's had to release the rooms, you're going to pay a lot more. And I can't help you there. I can't give you a discount because it's coming out of my pocket, because I know that these hotels cost a lot more now. I know. I just saw it. And so if you're thinking about coming, don't wait. Please don't wait, because I will have to pay him at the end of the month. There's a payment deadline for me. So I know that's how many rooms he's going to secure, and that's it, because he can't secure without a rooming list. He has to have names behind those. Otherwise, we're going to have to end up paying for empty rooms, basically. So I know that was a lot, but I just wanted to let you know. Now, if you're thinking about it, I've given you all the reasons to not wait. If you're thinking about coming, just do it. Just come. All you need to put down right now is a third of the price. It's not even a full payment. It's the first installment that's due like right now. And then the next installment is due at the end of January, and the third installment is due at the end of March. So that's kind of where that is. All right. I have now painted all the trees and all of that one round over. And then next time I'm going to finish off. We have one more time. So I'm going to finish off with the pink. I'm going to create all the shading on it. I'm going to add some white to it. And I'm also going to put the sailboats in. So come back to me for that. I'm thinking I'm going to be able to do that tomorrow because we still have a snow day in South Carolina. So Thursday is a good day to be doing this with me. So stick with me, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.